what up? Two disabled guys in a mic. This is your boy Alex. I'm here with my boy David. He's here to tell us about his story, some of the things that he went through, some of his experiences. Recent injury. So David, man.
Yeah. It's been less than it's about to make a year pretty soon. So August 4th, 2023, I got into a motorcycle accident. I was drinking and riding. My mistake. I was in a bad mental place. And I made a mistake and it cost me big time. So don't drink and drive, please. Don't drink and drive.
It's one of those moments where your life could change in a second.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's not a joke.
Yeah.
And people, take it as a joke or think, I could drive when I'm drinking. Man,
that little decision could change your life to.
Don't chance it.
To some, very, very, big obstacle.
It can take so much away from you.
And not only you, family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Family, because I know when I had my injury, my whole family went through it.
Yeah.
Your whole family went through it with you.
And your family, your friends, your closest.
Everybody.
It's not just your parents.
Yeah.
The people that love you go through it with you.
Go through it with you. No, for sure, man. And I know how old were you when your injury happened? 29.
Yeah.
See, I got injured at 26, so it's close range of that where we got to live some of our teenage life as regular walkers, as they say, and some of our 20s, and then boom.
Right.
So in our experience, it's not like a lot of people when they're born with a disability, and so life is normal to them.
Exactly.
Or when they get injured at a young age where they could adapt quick because they're young. At your age, you and me, we go through so many different things because we're young adults,
right.
Young men who are still right now probably searching for your other partner.
Exactly.
And you still want to adventure around the world and do these things. So now it's like, right at the smack of almost the middle of your life.
In your prime.
It's like now you gotta adjust not only to the new lifestyle, but you gotta bring more of that, So it's hard, man. It's hard. So tell me some of your challenges when you first got injured, like at the hospital and those beginning days. Like, what did you experience?
Man, so I don't remember like the first 2.5 weeks after my accident. Maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Were you like in induced coma and all that? No, okay.
And my mom and everybody says that I was, I was cohesive, coherent. I mean, I was responding to what people were saying. I had a trach because I couldn't breathe on my own.
Right.
So I had a tube
because of your level injury.
Yeah. So my injury is a C4 incomplete.
Okay.
So I couldn't breathe. I couldn't I was in bad shape.
Right.
So I was understanding people supposedly, but I don't
it's
remember.
one of those where you probably had some medication.
So for those who for those of you who came to see me within the first 2.5 weeks,
now
after my accident, and you never came to see me after that. If I say I didn't see you at the hospital, it's because I don't remember those first 2.5 weeks, man. Like
they're the wild first days.
Tough.
It
was tough, man. Like, and I feel like I remember like certain things, like
right.
I remember little
moments of
but
that.
I don't remember everything.
And it's funny you say that because not only do I remember little moments, but certain smells. So when I go back to hospitals to do something for work or peer mentor or whatever it is, there's certain areas when you go to the hospital, you're like, yo, that smell takes me back to when I was in that bed, like at my worst. You know what I mean? So yeah, little things, man, that the brain pins,
Yeah, definitely. Like I remember just like minor shit, very minor shit, but like the majority of shit, I don't remember.
What were your first thoughts when you started realizing your injury? And did that happen while you were still there in the hospital or later on?
So, did what happen?
Like your injury, like, like when you started realizing, oh shit, like I'm paralyzed and like what the fuck is going on? Like things like that. Was that going on like right away while you were still in the hospital or it happened as time went by?
Dude, what hit me first was the fact that I couldn't speak.
Right.
I had no voice.
Right. Oh yeah. Same here.
Like, I've always been the type of person to speak out,
Right,
and voice my opinion.
Voice your, whatever it is that you gotta say.
I'm gonna stand on whatever I say and whatever I believe in.
Right.
So the fact that I didn't have a voice,
that took
that,
it there.
yo, that was like you see a movie and they're muted somehow, and it's like,
and you're like trying, you felt that,
dude. It was like torture, almost.
So injuries, like I said, you compare them and none of them are the same, but almost the same. My lungs collapsed in my injury. So when I came out of that whole induced coma, life support, all that, they gave me this plastic thing with this little ball where you got to blow, and the ball has to little by little reach the top. And that's when your lungs are strong. And I remember same thing. I couldn't talk. My beginning 2 weeks or whatever, I sounded like almost like a little girl. And they would be like, yo, you got to blow into this thing. And I could barely move that ball, man. And it would frustrate. And I'm like, yo, but then little by little, your lungs is stronger. Your voice starts coming back. And then, boom.
For me, like, when I started talking again, there was no frustration in me at all.
Right.
Because I'm talking again.
Now you're like, yo,
like,
it's another, like, it's a thing achieved. I got my voice back.
I can talk, I can say hi,
Now think about this, right? Today I was at my office, and in my office we deal with all disabilities. There was an event today for people who can't talk.
Really?
So I'm in my office, and people who can talk make certain noises as they're expressing themselves. You know what I mean? And I was listening to it, and it goes back to what you were just saying, that frustration, Because can you imagine, that's their disability, right? We're in wheelchair. Everybody has different disabilities. They're walking, they're doing everything normal, but they can't talk. So the communication, man, it's tough. It sucks. Yeah.
So were they like instructing it in sign language?
Yeah, we have an employee there at the center where, and an interpreter as well. So they do sign language and they do different things. So
that's cool. That's dope.
It's dope, man. It's
dope.
And I guess like we feel comfortable when it's wheelchairs around,
because
they must feel like because we can all relate.
Everybody has their own personal situations, and it's not even only people who are with disabilities,
visual disabilities.
Everybody has their own situations, and you're always gonna find people that you feel like you fit in with better than others. And
for sure.
When you have people that can relate to you, it's easier to have a relationship.
100%.
Like have a friendship, have a
100%.
bond. It's because, and part of it is trauma bonding, and trauma bonding is a real thing. Trauma bonding is a real thing, and it's not bad.
You got to make the best out of all types of things.
Right. So
you got to find the positive on all those things. So, one of the questions I was going to ask you, how was that experience once you went your transition from the hospital? Did you ever go from the hospital to a rehab, or you was straight from the hospital home?
So I went from the ICU to rehab. I was in Mount Sinai in Manhattan,
down here in
Manhattan.
Okay, New York.
Shout out to Mount Sinai. They were amazing.
Above and beyond. Dope.
The therapists there, the psychiatrists, the PCAs, the nurses. Not everybody, obviously, but the ones that I did build a bond with, it was truly like I felt cared for.
Right. And those people, I always say when I go to talk to schools, the students that are going to become therapists and all that, I tell them, you don't understand how important you're going to become to someone one day, because those moments when you're newly injured and they're teaching you and you feel loved, like you say, you feel like, yo, these people care.
Right.
At a moment in your life where you feel like everything's gone.
Right.
So yeah, man,
that's
people
definitely,
do a lot.
And those therapists, they helped me through my days, because
you break down,
doing everything for yourself to not being able to do anything.
100%.
I wasn't able to do anything for myself.
And I broke down a few days.
So I definitely was. I was
frustration.
Like,
and then not only that, but you said it's not only the physical, but mentally.
Yeah, I was angry.
Yeah.
And I was more mad at myself because I knew that what I was doing wasn't the right thing to do. But I was still doing it because I was hurting.
Right.
I was hurting.
You were like, fuck it, whatever. And
yeah,
then,
I was trying to numb the pain, and alcohol was the only thing that would numb it, man. And
I feel you.
That's just, you know.
And you know, it's back to being able, like you said, voice yourself. I have my moments too in life that, yo, you have your bumps that you're like, yo. Yeah. So you find those getaway moments where they're not the right moments, they're not the right decisions. Maybe you go spend money at a fucking bar and drink $300 worth, but that moment, it just took you off that other moment that you don't want to be at, but they're not good, both of them.
Exactly.
But you know, it happens, man, you know?
And you know, people get into their emotions, and sometimes they let it get the best of them, and I'm human.
Yeah, we're not perfect. We're not perfect.
You know, and I'm not too much of a man to admit
right.
that I was wrong for doing what I did, and I messed up.
Yeah, and we continue.
It wasn't nobody else's fault. It was my fault.
We learn, no matter how bad things happen, we grow. You know what I mean? Like 100%. We could still be in wheelchairs and still probably end up doing some dumb shit one day where you're like, oh my god. But you learn. You know what I mean? And it's like you said, sometimes we're hard-headed. You know, we don't understand why sometimes, but it's just, you know, we learn. And all we could do is try to become better and better every day. And that's it, man. Back to your rehab thing. So how did rehab feel for you? Besides the frustration in the days?
Rehab was the best thing that happened to me after my accident.
Right. Yeah.
And when I was in rehab, I felt so much love, and I felt so much support, and
so mentally it was a good thing too,
because you know, not only am I from New York, so my family's there, you know, and my friends are there, so the people that I care about the most and care about me the most, they were from there. Besides my mom and my sisters, they're from Florida, but like I'm from New York, so it's home.
Yeah.
So these people made me feel loved, and then all of my friends that were coming to see me, I felt the support, I felt the love.
Right.
But honestly,
and you appreciate all that, you know?
Honestly, dude, like if I didn't go to Mount Sinai and I didn't have the therapist that I had, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right. 100%.
And that's the honest truth. So I want to say thank you to those therapists.
Yeah, those
early therapists, Mike Fiorica, Mike, you know, the PCA, Kenny the PCA, you know, Sharon the PCA, Sharon the night nurse, you know, Marie, my main nurse. Like those are the people that helped me through.
This, had your back, that you felt love.
You know, they weren't my family, but they made me feel like family.
100%.
Angela, Dr.
Have you ever gone back to see them?
I haven't been yet.
You'll go back one day and they'll be like, yo.
So the plan was actually to go back on my 1-year anniversary from leaving, which was November 17th.
Right.
But you know, I don't know how that's looking. We'll see how you know how that looks when the time.
You haven't traveled yet, plane.
I've only traveled to Florida from New York.
In plane?
Yes, on the plane, and it was a horrible experience.
And that was you on the? You already had this?
I was in a regular wheelchair,
regular manual chair.
So actually, I was on a bullshit wheelchair. Excuse my language. A crappy wheelchair from Amazon that my mom bought me. That was like $150 because they wouldn't allow me to fly with this chair. They wouldn't take this chair because they said the chair is overweight. Which is wild because you could travel with your chair. Yeah. So, and then again, I was also good with it because I didn't want them to mess with the chair anyway because they don't give
they don't care.
They don't care about wheelchairs.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
So, like even the wheelchair that my mom bought, that one got messed up.
Wow. Knock on wood, man. I've traveled and none of my chairs have been damaged. They've been scratched up here and there, but I hear it all the time, man.
They got messed up on the flight, and I was like, I didn't care because fucking it's from Amazon, you know, it's whatever. But if that was this chair, I would.
But then again, back to the fact that your mom has to go, you know, figure shit out instead of the airlines knowing that you could travel with this chair. They're just being lazy.
Right. We called ahead of time and everything.
Yeah. Now in that case, man, they should have helped you. From this chair, go to the straight back seat, like the special style, where they help you. Yeah, they help you to your aisle and then help you to your chair. See, that's another tricky thing too, because I know seats. It depends on like some people like to sit on their cushion. They can't see.
Right.
You know,
I had to sit on my cushion.
so that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Because I was really new into my. I'm still new into my injury, but I was only 3.
And one of the things you don't ever want to end up with is pressure sores,
right?
At all. So
So I was, 4 months into my injury, so I was like, I gotta, someone has to help me, and I gotta do that. But it was uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
And the transferring from the chair, like the wheelchair to the out chair, it was so uncomfortable. And they sent a big guy, a really big guy, and then a little tiny guy. And then the big guy came to the front of me to grab my legs. What?
Yeah, like the light.
The little guy came behind me to grab my trunk. This is the heavy part here. Why would I'm like
you guys need to swap?
No, I need you back here. I need pause.
Yeah.
That sounded kind of gay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I need you in the back. I need you to carry the most weight.
Right. Yeah.
This is. What are you doing?
And you would think sometimes people's minds was like,
it was kind of like they didn't even know what they were doing.
I don't think they are. They're not trained at that.
Like,
and it would be cool to get airlines to get involved on get volunteers going in wheelchairs. Let's do a day of where let's find out the easiest, safest way for all of us to get in and out. And because I know that straight back chair sometimes, man, and it could be so easy, man. They leave these front rows sometimes just 4 wheelchairs. It's 1, 2, 3.
Right.
And if there's nobody in a wheelchair, whatever, anybody can sit there. But that's a whole nother.
But that's for so basically, I feel like you should it should be like a reservation thing,
right?
Like somebody should have a reserve it.
Yeah, like we do when we go to a circus or a concert.
You're in a wheelchair. When you book your flight, let them know you're in a wheelchair, and then it's priority.
They should know. Yeah, they should know right away.
And that's what it should be. It should be priority.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And it's sad that it's not. And I see that there's some movements out there that they're trying to help, accessibility on airplanes. I know I seen an Instagram page, they were
there's people trying to do a lot of things,
so shout out to them,
all day, man. Everybody that's trying to change the world, like they say.
Yeah, man. All you guys that advocate for people that can't advocate or won't advocate for themselves, shout out to you guys. Shout out to you because you do that.
Yeah, man. Thank you. No, and not only that, but a lot of people don't realize that you could be considered perfect, right? Like able-bodied. There's, you're good. But at some point, you're gonna age, and you might end up in a situation where you could have, helped out do this. Those people in those high positions that could change things, to make it easy. But it takes something to hit their home for them to realize.
And it's sad that we live in a world that people don't take others into consideration.
Right.
People are very selfish in this world, and they'll see somebody in a wheelchair, and they won't bother to try to help or anything.
Right,
they'll just whatever.
And then you have those who are, I've heard there some people go, oh man, out of respect, I don't want to,
they're scared,
or ask if you need help, and boom.
But it's not like that, man. Help others, man. Be kind to others.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It doesn't hurt to be kind. It doesn't hurt to
lend a hand, man. Something so simple,
to be nice, because when you do good things, that come back tenfold.
100%.
Be nice, be kind. It's a simple. Don't be mean to others, man. There's a lot of mean people, and I'm from New York, and New York is it's such a dark place. Dark place, and I feel like there's a dark cloud over New York because everybody's on top of each other. Everybody lives on top of each other.
Yeah, they're already out.
So it's just everybody's
it's too many people around me. I don't even want to say what's up.
I'm glad I got away from it because I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be around angry people. I don't want to be around that. I want to be around that. That's bad energy.
All right,
What I have to do, when I get lightheaded sometimes, I get lightheaded sometimes. I gotta lean back in the chair, and these chairs are expensive as hell because they come with all these features. But
so this is one of the features that we're talking about, tilting space, or where you're able to elevate your feet and tilt back, and what that does, so people understand, why? So what this does is circulation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it takes all the pressure of what they say from your butt and distributes it out.
Exactly.
More level
pressure
down.
sores on your butt, and then also your blood pressure.
You get to move
even
around
out and things. So
And I know in this chair it extends the legs.
Yep.
And then it stretches the back part. A lot of people stretch the whole chair out to where it's a decline.
You can almost lay straight.
Right.
And
they say it's good to have your feet elevated above your head. That way,
especially if you go into autonomic dysreflexia. Yeah, autonomic dysreflexia. If you go into that, you know, you definitely need to, you know, lay back and stuff, put your legs up, and
do all that. Yeah, man.
Depending on how, you know, how it is, because, you know, some people get it worse than others. You know, some people don't need so much attention. You know, some people,
yeah, really and it as time goes by, like me, even 20 years later, I get some spasms sometimes that you're like, oh my god,
dude.
You know, so
you want to touch on the spasms topic, man. This spasticity that I have, man, it's so bad.
And you're not taking any medication and stuff like that, right?
Well, now I am, because now I have insurance.
Okay.
So now I'm taking medications for it.
What are you taking?
I'm taking tizanidine.
Okay.
I'm taking tizanidine. I literally just started taking diazepam, which is like Valium.
Right.
And gabapentin for my nerves. Gabapentin doesn't do much for the spasms, but for my nerves, you know.
Yeah, the nerve.
Because sometimes when the spasms kick in,
then the nerves kick in and
it hurts, you know, like, so the gabapentin, you know, goes along with that. So, you know, that's what I'm taking right now. I've actually been going through the process of trying to get the baclofen pump put in.
Okay.
And then, I'm not going to lie, I got a little scared.
Yeah.
Because I heard too many negative things, and, you know, I felt like I needed more information, and so
because it's a pump you carry like inside your stomach area, like on the side.
So yeah, the baclofen pump, for you guys that don't know, is a pump that they put in your stomach, and it has a tube that feeds to your spinal cord, and medication to put the spasm medication straight to the source, where it's supposed to be, you know, much more effective than taking oral pills.
Right.
So
it goes directly to
so I've been trying to get that done, but the other day I had the trial, and my mom ended up waking up late, and it was a couple things that happened personally in my life that
didn't make it happen, right?
And I was like, you know, this is meant this. I wasn't meant to have this happen right now, because I'm not ready. Because everything happens for whatever reasons.
Yeah, so
I've been having a lot of doubt, so I was like, I'm not ready. And sure enough, you know, I got to reschedule it, and I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna just try the trial first, and I'm gonna do some more research. I may get a second opinion, see how that works out. Don't know if I'm gonna do it yet. I'll figure it out, you know, sooner or later.
For sure.
But these spasms, my spasms are so bad, I can't even sleep on my side.
Right, because
I'm not able to sleep on my side because my legs start kicking out like a donkey.
I go through all that stuff too. There's sometimes where I want to be in a certain position in my bed, but I can't, because I know it starts hurting, and then the spasm starts. So I gotta go the other way, and it's.
So I've been sleeping on my back for almost 3 months now. I've been sleeping on my back.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not good either, because that's a lot of pressure on your
ass, you know, back and everything.
So you know, that's not good, but it's the only it's literally the only
way you're able to do it.
And at first, I wasn't even able to sleep like that. I had it was a struggle, and then I ended up, you know, getting used to it. And honestly, like, you know, I started, you know, smoking again, and the smoking was helping a little bit. And I have, you know, my medical marijuana card, so you know, it's all good.
Sometimes people don't realize, but man, all that stuff helps a lot.
But the smoking definitely, it helped me sleep. It helped my appetite. Honestly, dude, it helped me through depression. You know, like, it helped with the anxiety, like, and, you know, I don't understand why this drug is illegal, or why it's kept away from certain people, because it helps people, man. It does.
It does.
Because it helps me.
It absolutely does.
So, I'm not no advocate for marijuana or nothing, but
you're giving your opinion about how it is. Right.
Yeah, it has definitely helped me. So for those people who, you know, have spasms or things like that, nerve pains, you know, if you haven't tried marijuana, you might want to
give it a try. Give it a try.
You might want to try it, because you can get medically cleared for it, and get a medical marijuana card, and you might want to try it, and you never know.
100%.
And don't think about it as a bad thing, like, oh, I'm getting high. It's not about that. It's about what you feel.
Feel better, and be able to sleep, be able to eat, be able to, you know, control the anxiety, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I've had really bad anxiety. I was, they, you know, said I suffer from, you know, severe depression. And, you know, that's normal, because
we went to a traumatic injury.
Yeah,
man. We go through this changes your
everything,
mind,
everything
in many ways,
dude.
man.
It changes everything. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you talk. It changes the way you
feel.
act.
A lot of
it
things.
changes the way you feel. It changes everything, man. And
it's crazy.
I split my head open, so I had a traumatic brain injury.
Same, yeah, with a helmet.
Right. So I had a helmet on too. So I was labeled TBI, and I asked the doctor one time, like recently, like a couple months ago, I said, like, I get angry sometimes, like, dude, like,
is that part of that?
And she told me that could be part of. It's like, I don't know, and they can't tell you if it is or not because there's no certainty.
They will have to do studies and all kinds of
stuff. But it will take 10 years before I know the answers. But it's real life stuff. It's real life, and it's real life things that we go through as patients of a spinal cord injury, and just being patients of any type of traumatic
injury
stress that like, dude, it's super stressful, and you have to learn how to relive. I had to learn how to eat again. I had to learn how to feed myself again. I had to learn how to brush my teeth again. Like, I had to learn how to talk again.
Yeah, you actually had to go through more things than, for example, at least for a paraplegic. Like, I had to learn how to get dressed on my own again, learn how to shower, everything from a wheelchair. Yeah. You had to do that and then more.
Well, the thing is, I'm still not even able to do those things.
Right. Yeah, it takes longer.
Like, I'm very fresh in my injury, and my injury was a bad one. I mean,
and not only a bad one, but then you had a gap from the moment you transitioned from New York to here, where there was no rehab.
Exactly. So now you're behind.
You're behind on what you could be learning,
and I feel behind.
Right.
Like, and to feel behind, man, it's a sucky feeling.
And with an injury, because you want to do as much as you can already.
Dude, I've always been the one, like, I want to be the best at everything I do.
Right. Yeah.
So not being able to do certain things, it's very traumatic, and it's very stressful, and it's very angering, and
and then at the same time, while you're feeling all that, you gotta remember to just not let it even get to you. So it's like you're trying to block it, but it's there, and it's like now you're juggling with both things,
Dude, it's like you got people around you that care for you, and they're the ones that help you every day, and you get into a little mood and you snap and you say something to them that you can't take back.
Yeah.
And guess what? People will forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So if what you said hurt them, they won't forget that.
They won't forget that. Yeah, no, 100%.
They might forget what you said that hurt them.
Yeah.
But they won't forget that you said something that hurt them when they were trying to help you.
100%.
And it's not fair. But it's also not always our faults.
Right.
Because some people are not able to control it as good as others.
Right. Yeah, no, and everybody's different. I've met a lot of people in wheelchairs who never even give themselves a chance to learn that patience, learn, do those baby steps. They want it all now. They get stuck on their old life, so it's frustrating for them,
Yeah.
And they end up not doing well because of that frustration that
100%.
they have going on,
100%. And they give up. A lot of people give up, man. And don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah,
man.
Giving up is hard, man.
Nobody, man. Don't ever give up, man. Don't give up.
And it's harder. You give up and it makes things just harder, I think.
Because you give up and your life is down the drain.
Yeah.
Now you don't ever get to relearn the things that you need to relearn. You never become self-sufficient again. Now you completely have to depend on somebody for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and hope that there's somebody there.
And that's right, exactly. Because with a nasty attitude, ain't nobody gonna want to be with you.
Yeah, no, it's just tough.
So, you gotta. It's like walking a thin line without walking.
It's true, man.
It's like walking a thin line without walking, man. Like, it's like walking on eggshells.
So in a wheelchair. And then tell me now, because we were talking about the wheelchair too, right? This chair, you able to get it through your insurance, or is still in the process?
So this wheelchair I got from New York.
Okay.
my therapists were like adamant about getting me a chair before I left. So they were like not taking no for an answer.
They were working on it, like doing whatever it took.
They put the rush on it. They did everything they could to make sure that I had a wheelchair to go home with. So thank you guys, because
without that,
I would have never had a wheelchair.
Yeah, no, imagine, yeah,
because I would have
no insurance, no
I would have I probably still would not
probably
have
ended
had a
up
wheelchair.
On a loaner or a giveaway type of chair that's not even for you.
Yeah, maybe a chair that I would have found on the internet. I would have probably had to buy one secondhand.
Yeah, and get it fixed up because nobody's gonna donate nothing.
This chair was specifically fitted for me.
Right.
No, for my measurements, my butt, my body,
everything. Yeah.
It was like specifically fitted for me. So it's I love this chair.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But if I would have had to come home and I would have been in that Amazon chair for the last 8 months.
Yeah, yo, not even.
Dude, pressure sores.
People gotta
pressure sores would have came in 2 days.
For sure. And then you gotta ask people, yo, push me down, just down the hall and do this and that, because they're hard. Bro.
Especially because like when I was in therapy, I started working on pushing myself in a regular wheelchair. I started it.
Right.
But remember, I went months without therapy. So when I got here, we applied for Medicaid and everything, nothing kicked in, and then we got in contact with you guys. You actually get denied, I think. Yeah, I got denied. And then we got in contact with you and the Center of Independent Living
to get something going.
That's how we found help, because we ended up calling 211, and they gave us 211
referred us to.
Right. Yeah. So if you guys don't know what to do in situations as such, call 211.
And they're a resource number.
There are people out there that information sources that will help you.
Right.
So 211, they directed us to you guys, and then you guys helped us out. And then we got in contact with Broward Brain and Spinal.
Yeah.
And Broward Brain and Spinal
rehab and this and that. Yeah.
Broward Brain and Spinal ended up paying for. They agreed to pay for my therapy, my physical therapy, my occupational therapy, and then I went to therapy for 1 month, and then my spasms started getting really bad. So they got worse over time.
Right.
And we finished the month, and I spoke to the therapist, and we agreed that we weren't getting very far with
the spasticity being the way.
So being that these visits are very limited because they're being paid for on somebody else's dime, I don't want to waste time.
What you got,
wasting sessions
when you're not really getting it in.
So we agreed to cut it off and then try to see if the surgery, the back of pump surgery, was gonna be a good thing for me.
Right.
So they said I was a good candidate for it, and I was gonna go through the process, but I wasn't comfortable and I didn't feel ready, so I pushed it back. The trial is coming up soon, so I'm gonna see how it goes, but it was scary. Something is going in your body. It's a device that's going inside.
Device inside, and and I got friends who have it, and I don't remember if it was that or what, but when the battery goes low, it beeps, or it has. So
I've actually heard of the device exploding inside somebody. Wow. I've heard about the tube getting twisted inside where it stops feeding to your spinal cord, and when you go through, if you end up going through withdrawals from this medication, you can die. That's the doctor told me straight up. If your withdrawals are that bad, you can die. So you're telling me if I put this pump in my stomach and this cord gets kicked up,
and you got to take it out,
I start going through withdrawals, I could die.
Yeah, sick.
That's scary, crazy. Man.
It's crazy.
So there are people who vouch for it, and my doctor thinks that it's a super good idea.
Right.
But I'm scared. I'm scared, man. And honestly, it's to calm down the spasms, but I want to walk again. So I have 100%. Plans. I have plans on walking again.
So doing some walking.
So I don't want to take away all that tone, because that tone is gonna help me.
100%.
So I'm in a weird spot right now, but these spasms are just they're super bad, man.
And same thing with me. People ask me sometimes that, yo, how come your legs after 20 years they still got meat on them? I'm like, I never took medication. I dealt through spasms.
So they work themselves out.
I did all that muscle electric therapy, all that stuff. So, you know, you keep your muscle as active as possible.
Yeah.
You know, because, for sure, you know, we don't walk, we don't have that movement. So, your muscle dystrophy.
And you need the blood pumping. You need the blood pumping in there.
Yeah, man. So it's a whole other process. Let's talk a little bit about transportation. So with these type of chairs, you obviously need a bigger vehicle. I know we were talking about getting into a studio, you know, to do some podcasting. You live in one county, the studio's in another. Tops sometimes has these rules where they won't go from one county to the other. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I don't know how the rules are. It sucks completely.
So transportation in Florida has been an absolute nightmare.
Horrible.
Absolute, like, to get to appointments, to get to therapy, to get to anything, it has been an absolute nightmare. And, like, you know, Tops is a great service, but it's a shared service, so they don't care about your convenience.
Yeah. If your appointment's at 9, we'll try our best.
They're not worried about your convenience. So guess what? They tell you Tops, like, they'll give you a pickup window. They'll tell you time like 1 to 1:30. That's your pickup window.
Right.
Dude, I've had drivers come 45 minutes after the pickup window, and it's like, what do you tell me a pickup window for?
Right.
And then when I call you to complain, you basically just say there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing. Yeah, like, what do you want me to do?
It's not like, oh, I'll give you a free ride, or I'll compensate you this way. No, it's straight like, this is a shared service, and basically you're lucky to have it, so be grateful.
Period.
Like, come on, man. Like, that's, come on. Like, we deserve everything that everybody else deserves. Just because we're in wheelchairs does not mean that we should be treated different.
So real quick, man, talking about the buses. For example, if you go on a city bus, then you're risking, first of all, traveling through all this Miami, Florida heat and all that super hot weather. Then you get to a bus stop and the buses might not be working when it comes to the accessible thing. So now you gotta wait to the next bus. And
honestly, due to as well the space that they give you, that little turn at the beginning. For you, it might be a little more simple because your chair's a little smaller. But for me, it's like, it's very tight.
Right, yeah, because you got to come up that little ramp and make that quick.
Anybody, like, and you know, electric wheelchairs or bigger wheelchairs, it has to be very uncomfortable.
Right, yeah.
And especially, like, you know, controlling this is like, it's like a Game Boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's like,
you got your little joystick.
So it's, you know, you can't just turn exactly how you want to. You know, you get nicer with it as time goes on, but when you're trying to get into a small spot, like, it's easier when you have full control of your chair,
manually,
you know? So it's definitely harder for people in manual wheelchairs. I mean, in the power wheelchairs, but it's inconvenient as hell. First of all, people just don't have any consideration for people in wheelchairs, honestly. Yeah. And that just makes the ride that much more uncomfortable. Especially, you'll notice, like, if you take like a city bus or something, like, if you're getting on the bus and, like, the drivers tell somebody that they have to get up to
move up that,
the dirty looks that they give you, they're like, that's like, but it's like, dude, like, what do you want me to do?
It's frustrating.
What do you want me to do? Like, so those people out there that are not in wheelchairs, like, don't be mad at the people in wheelchairs. Like, that's
the only choice we're given,
like,
you know?
It's not our fault. Like, it wasn't.
But that's like going back to disabled parking, right? Like, I always see people who could walk and park in any regular spot, park in the disabled spot. And I'm thinking, okay, you might have a disability, I get it. And it might be a messed up disability. But you're taking that parking spot, the only option, to a wheelchair user that's really the only place you could park.
Exactly.
But you could park on the spot next to it that's open, and you could get in and out of the car. So why not take that spot? But again, consideration and education, and, you know.
When I was, you know, out of my wheelchair and you know, walking around doing my thing, I used to park in those spots too. So I know, like, you know, I was one of those.
Yeah.
And I didn't. You don't understand this lifestyle unless you know somebody, or unless you go through it. You know, I didn't think.
Yeah, because I think in my earlier years I might have went to a 7-Eleven, pulled up on the disabled spot, ran in,
Dude,
got in and run out.
I used to ride a motorcycle, so I'm parking right in
the
the handicap
little-
spot, real quick, going
Yeah.
inside, and I'm inside for however long, you know. But I'm not thinking,
Not thinking
about
of, yo,
this is a wheelchair space
the
and
little
things like
area,
that, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, now I do, and you know, I feel like people should be more aware,
Right.
and we should be able, as you know, people with disabilities, we should be able to put things together to bring more awareness to the cause,
100%.
because people should be aware of these things.
Yeah. Or like we're doing now, like by voicing it out, hoping that some of these people see this clip of the episode and be like, yo, let me get some education on that. I don't understand why they're stressing this disabled parking so much, and then you're like, oh my god, okay, I get it now.
Right.
You know?
But you know, it's unless you feel it, you won't know. And it's just like when you ride a motorcycle. When you're riding a motorcycle, people don't care about you on the road. They're not worried about you. People that ride motorcycles, they watch out for motorcycles.
Right.
People that ride motorcycles, they watch out for motorcycles.
Yeah.
But normal people, they're not gonna
think about it. Yeah, they don't know what's popping with bikes.
They're not paying attention to you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I've literally had cars like jump in front of me while I'm staring at them through their mirror.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at you in your mirror.
It's wild. I know I went through moments on my motorcycle where like, people. And nowadays with texting and driving, you know, it's even worse because I got injured before texting came out.
Okay.
And now that I drive my car, and I admit, you know, you grab your phone sometimes to see who's calling you or see who texted you, but those 2-3 seconds, you know what I mean? It's a whole. You could change somebody's life or change your own.
Change your own. And you know, when you change your own life, that means you're changing all those lives around you that care for you.
And I don't know if you remember the beginning texting years, there was a lot of don't text and drive commercials.
Yeah,
I'm texting because there was a lot of deaths.
And it was like that. It was a lot of like the big signs on the highway. The signs that you could type in the message and stuff.
Let it wait.
Yeah.
The text could wait. So, it's not worth your life and all that.
But
because there was a high number of that.
You know what it is? There are a lot of younger drivers, and younger drivers are. This younger generation is not taught the right way. Right. They're not taught morals. They're not taught to take other people into consideration. So they don't care about what's going on around them.
And I don't know if I would say maybe not care, but sometimes they just have no idea. So if there's no idea, there's no oblivious. They don't know what the dangers are, or you know what to look out for. They don't even know it
because they're too busy on the phone gossiping.
All types of stuff, man.
They're too busy on the phone gossiping, and then they end up ending somebody's life, or you know, like severely damaging somebody's life or their own.
Yeah, no, for sure. And David, let me tell you this though. We're dropping right now a whole episode while we're talking. We're gonna probably do 2, 3, 4, because you know we could talk for hours and talk about ABC all the way to Z. You know what I mean? In this episode, right, closing it out, who do you want to give a shout out to? You know, when it comes from special people to mobility shit to you name it, man.
Man, first of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank God because I'm alive, and without Him, I wouldn't be here. Second is my mom, because my mom is an absolute superhero, and she has been there for me from the start, and she's still here doing everything for me,
above and beyond.
My family, you know, my loved ones, my support system, my physical therapist, Darla, my occupational therapist, Mike. My nurses, my PCAs when I was in therapy back in New York, all of you guys that made sure that I felt loved. Thank you. My father, everybody that made sure that I felt loved. Thank you. And those of you that were a part of my life and are no longer a part of my life, there's no bad blood, and I don't feel any way towards any of you, but I need to move on to the next part of my life, and you guys may not be a part of it, and it's okay, you know, like not everybody is meant to stay in your life forever, but it's no hard feelings towards anybody.
Not everybody comes along for the ride, you know, because some people stay back.
I'm just grateful, and I'm grateful even for you guys that I don't talk to anymore. I'm still grateful for having spent time with you guys, having the chance to experience you guys. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful for everything in life, and I'm grateful for you, brother.
Grateful for
I'm
you
grateful
too,
for
man.
you wanting to
And I'm gonna jump in the bandwagon with that, you know, because I do episodes, and I might have maybe once in a blue here and there gave my thanks to the people, you know, and I give same like you, my mom, my dad who passed away, they were there above and beyond, beginning to end. My sister, to this day, right now, helping me out. You know, my triplets over there in Georgia, enjoying a beautiful time with my family over there. You know, while I'm over here, everybody who's been there for us, you know, and like you said, therapists, man, I can name you.
They become your family.
Yo,
man.
they become angels. You know what I mean? Like,
Truly.
I don't talk to them anymore. If I'm, you know, if I'm sure I find them in social media and this and that. But yeah, man, those moments that will forever permanently be in your brain of how they made you feel for that hour of therapy. And you know, that's
the people that helped you make this transition from independency to dependency. That is to transform your mind to understand that you're still okay and life will still go on.
It still goes on.
Like that's truly a special talent. It's a talent. That's not a job.
Right.
Because anybody that can go get a degree in these things and get a job being a physical therapist, occupational therapist, that doesn't mean that they're a good therapist.
Right.
Like my therapist made me feel like family.
Right.
Those are good therapists. You know what I'm saying? Like,
people who understand your feelings, what you're going through.
Right.
And then they go out of their way to do, because they don't have to, but they do.
And peer mentors as well, as like such as yourself.
Yeah, peer mentoring,
where you
know?
help people. And that's something that I probably gonna end up getting into. Like my bro Garrison that I know from New York, he was my peer mentor in New York, and he helped me with this transition to Florida.
Peer mentors are
and he
important.
Still helps me to this day. He has a support group that I go to every week. But I try to go every week, and if I call him right now, he'll answer. And if he don't answer, he'll call me back.
As peer mentors, we learn too. You know, it humbles you when you meet this new injury, because we are looking at ourselves. You know, from when we started, you're like, man, like, let me give this person as much as I wish I had, you know, and then you learn from them. It humbles you because they're still going through that, and sometimes they're doing phenomenal. They're happy. They're like, yo, you know, I want to do my therapy. I want to do whatever it takes, and you're like, man, like, yo, I remember that. Like, that keeps me moving.
Humbling.
You know?
It's humbling,
100%.
Bro. Let me tell you, like the other day, last Friday, matter of fact, Garrison, he had texted me, and I haven't. So I started telling my story on Instagram. You know, and I started just trying to help people, you know, and it was a way out. I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't have, you know, I didn't have any therapists. I didn't have any health insurance for so long. So I just started trying to tell my story, and it helped me. And he reached out to me the other day, and he was like, dude, where's the videos? Why haven't you posted a video?
Right.
Because I haven't posted a video in about 2 or 3 weeks, because July was a tough month for me. This was the month that my downward spiral started. And you know, I lost my uncle this month, and I lost a close friend of mine this month, and my 1-year anniversary for my accident is coming up in a couple of weeks on August 4th. So it's just very overwhelming, and I've been very emotional about it. Not going to lie, I'm not too much of a man to admit that. But the fact that he asked me where the videos, and when I said, dude, I got video, you know, I'm gonna keep recording.
It's coming.
I'm just, you know, going through it. He was like, I don't want you to stop. You need to keep going.
Right. Yeah, he's giving you
that's what a peer mentor does.
Right.
That's a good peer mentor.
Give you that push.
You know, like that's somebody who you need in your corner, who's gonna support you. 100%. So shout out to you, Garrison, my brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Maybe one day we could get you to fly down here and get on this show.
We're gonna get him, or we'll fly up there, you know, and we do it.
So that'll be a good vibe. But it's definitely like, those are the people that I appreciate the most.
That's dope. That's dope.
Process, man.
And with that being said, man, you know what? I want to call this episode 1 of David and Alex, you know, 2 disabled guys in a mic, talking and just sharing our experiences, sharing your brand new experience. And I know we're probably going to have, well, not probably, I know for sure it's going to be 2, 3, 4 at least that will, you know, will come through. And hopefully one, you know, we get you in the studio and we do it in the
I'm looking forward to getting there
and
too.
Do all that.
But before you cut this off, right, I got something for you.
All right.
Because I want to show you my appreciation from the support that you have shown me since I've been here in Florida. You have helped me tremendously since I've been here in Florida, and I appreciate you to the core. And I want you to understand that. So that box right there, if you want to grab that box, that box is for you.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And you know, I've had this for a little while already because we've been planning on doing this episode for a while, but
talking
I haven't been able to get this to you. But
dope, man, I appreciate
this is for you, and this is to
do
show
it.
my
Let's do
appreciation.
it. Look at that, man. Wow, bro, that's super dope. That's a dope canvas, man. Look at that. Bam. Let's show it. Look at that. That's dope, my man. Appreciate that, bro. For sure. Thank you, man.
That's
going on the studio stuff,
I know you
bro.
just started this podcast, so that is my best of luck gift.
And that's dope. That means a lot, man.
That is my best of luck good to you, because I hope that this podcast is one of the top podcasts.
And we do big things
in a year or two,
bro.
That's, you know what I'm saying? So that is
that's dope. I love that. For sure.
I prayed on that.
No, I'm gonna hang it up. I'm gonna fucking.
That's for me to you. So this is me wishing you well, brother.
I appreciate that, bro.
Definitely.